2012, the hottest year on record in the United States. Usually the temperature differences from year to year are measured in fractions of a degree. Last year, though, the 55.3 degree average demolished the previous record set in 1998 by a full degree Fahrenheit. If this doesn't sound impressive, let's look at the number of record highs versus the number of record lows. Over 34,000 record high temperatures set across the country in 2012 compared to only 6,600 record lows, according to a count maintained by meteorologist from the Weather Channel, Guy Walton. The ratio used to be in balance as recently as the 1970s, where each year there would be about the same number of new highs set as new lows. However, it's been completely out of whack, particularly in the last year. What do you think of that? Is that, when you hear about that, do you say, we need to think of some kind of explanation that has nothing to do with climate change and the effects of human beings on this planet? Or do you say there's something going on here?
I think my views fit with the vast majority of the scientific views on this, that chances are we are causing some type of change.
Scientists say that natural variability probably did play a role in the extreme heat and drought of the last year. However, part of it is not due to that. Part of it is due to greenhouse gases and what is going on here. People seem to think that in order to curb man-made climate change, we need to kind of go back to the Stone Age or something like that. And that's really not the case. There's some interesting studies done. And one says that estimates are that it would cost about 4% of worldwide GDP to fully tackle climate change. Now, that's a staggering amount of money. I'm not denying that 4% of world GDP is staggering. But what are we so afraid of, right? I mean, we're not going to be going back to the Stone Age. Technology now has ways of really tackling what we think are the biggest factors in man-made climate change. And it's really, I think it comes down to the media. If mainstream media seriously start taking the climate change narrative as something that is not, well, on the one hand, 99% of scientists say this, and on the other hand, 1% of scientists say this, and both are equally valid. If mainstream media really takes this for what it is, essentially a scientific consensus, I think that it could create waves of change in how this is handled.
And the 4% is really more of a preventive, would be preventive spending, really.
A lot of that is.
You're going to end up spending a lot more than that when you have to deal with how bad things really get. And it's not just the media. I mean, there are a lot of corporate interests here.
But they operate through the media, right? I mean, in other words, those corporate interests,
well,
how are people hearing about them?
I mean, in our country, they don't operate through the media. They operate through the political system.
But okay, so give me an example of how, without touching the media, they are influencing people's opinion about this.
Campaign funding. I mean, they make sure that the people making the rules are on their side.
I see what you're saying.
I mean,
okay.
But the media is important too. I mean, you can't give that 1% equal footing with the vast majority of scientists.
Right, and as we've talked about many times, this mainstream media attitude of everything has its opposing side and you have to have an equally valid counterpoint to every argument shouldn't happen with gay marriage. It really shouldn't happen with climate change, which is even more lopsided in opinion than is the issue of marriage equality. It's disappointing. We'll see if mainstream media actually starts handling this in an adult way.
It's a big effing deal.